was once again trying to figure out what I wanted to record for y'all today when I came across this video I had saved on my Facebook. If you are a fan of Power Book 3 such as myself, and you're already very aware of this conversation, ain't much I gotta break down to you. While revisiting the conversation, I picked up on something that I wanted to talk about a long time ago. I'm talking about when this season first ended, regarding what in my opinion was the biggest mistake that Raq made in Power Book 3. A mistake that ultimately led Kanan to having the most trust issues about his mother, and why he always blames her for everything bad that's ever happened in his life. I know Kanan gets a bad rap for this today. I know people used to be a lot more sympathetic to his cause. I used to be one of them people for sure. I used to be like, yo, Raq is tripping. I just felt like with some of the actions that Raq has taken throughout the series, I felt like she couldn't have been looking out for Kanan in all them interactions. Killing Howard right in front of him, leaving a strap in his bag that she told Famous not to tell him about. Why she would even do that till this day, I still don't understand. That gotta be the dumbest thing Raq has ever done in this series. And also, can't forget her biggest mistake was having Lou take out D-Wiz. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about the conversation held at this table, bring it back to the biggest mistake I believe she made in this series and having Lou take out D-Wiz, justifying her reasoning for doing so, but still commenting on the fact that this action right here is the reason why her and Kanan will never be on the same page ever again moving forward in this series. I already know what y'all gotta do. If you like anything I say in this video at all, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things. To my YouTube people, shout out to y'all for 250 subscribers. Greatly appreciate it. Starting this channel from ground zero back in April when my channel first got deleted, I felt defeated. Not gonna lie, that's a ball. But it's true. So the fact that y'all rocking me enough to get me to 250 in less time than I did on my first channel, that should mean a lot to me. Let's get into the video. Start this conversation with just Kanan and Jukebox having a typical meetup at the diner. We've seen them meet up at the diner a lot of times this season, going over all the craziness going on in Queens, the disappearance of Famous, now Crystal. They had a conversation here when Unique first came back, conversations about their grandma. They was coming here a lot this season. So this conversation started off like any of them conversations, only Raq pulls up this time, and Kanan is shocked. He did not think his mom was pulling up here. At this point in time, Kanan is spiraling because first Famous done went missing, and then later on in the season we found out what happened to him. The brother got offed, unfortunately. Fast forward a little later on in the season, and now Crystal's gone missing. All these people in Kanan's life are disappearing right before his eyes. He's losing it. And the person he associates all these disappearances with is standing right next to him. Raq said something along the lines of, I've been trying to get up with you for a little minute, Kanan. Kanan go have the audacity to respond, and when you called me 100 times and I didn't answer all 100 times, you still thought I wanted to talk to you? The way she looked at him and the way he had to look at her twice, I thought she was gonna smack the shit out of him. I'm not gonna lie. She might have done it too, because next time we see them together, Raq is sitting at the table like she's doing right here. And she gets to telling Kanan, look, I know you probably gonna hate me for the rest of your life, but like your cousin said, that don't stop me from worrying about you, son. Kanan ain't hearing none of that though. He immediately goes to, yo, what you know about what happened to Fame? Raq responds with, what do I know about what happened to Fame? You think I had something to do with that shit? Jukebox goes on to say, nah, he didn't even say it. And in fact, he's just asking if you knew anything about what happened to Famous, right, Kanan? Raq says, yeah, I know what he acts, and I know what he's thinking at the same time after he acts that shit. We as fans knew what he was thinking about when he first asked that shit. Raq then tries to clear the air, letting him know I had nothing to do with what happened to Famous. I loved him. Kanan hits her back with a mic drop of a response talking about the same way you love D-Wiz. Oh no! How do you respond to that? There's nothing you can say, Raq. Except there is though. You already know Raq cooking up a response. He tells Kanan, I'ma tell you now like I told you back then when the shit first happened. That shit that happened that day was a result of your action. You and your little friends wanted to go ahead and take out that boy. Someone had to take the fall for it. I decided it wasn't gonna be you. You should be thankful that I took that little nigga out. She ain't say all that. Raq then goes on to say that the only reason she's even at the diner right now is because Crystal went to see her to warn her that Kanan might be gearing up to do something real stupid in these streets. Raq goes on to say that she can no longer fix Kanan's mistakes anymore, and that he's gonna have to start taking ownership of his actions going forward. Shorty clocking out from her motherly responsibilities essentially, and I can't even blame her for it. This nigga Kanan really don't appreciate shit Raq do for him. It's understandable, but like, I don't know, their relationship real complicated. Kanan once again not hearing none of that, just focusing on Crystal. Asks when did Crystal roll up on Raq? She says a couple of days ago. She said when she was leaving she was gonna catch a bus. Kanan asking Raq the wrong questions, talking about did you see who she rolled out when she left? He gets to asking her what time is it and shit. Jukebox gotta break down to Raq that Crystal is missing at this point. And Raq tells Kanan, I mean whatever happened to Crystal don't got nothing to do with me, bro. You want me to be doing extra surveillance on somebody I didn't know was gonna go missing? How that work? And it starts looking suspicious, so Raq has to interject and say, why would I even come here to tell you she pulled up if I had anything to do with it? Kanan then responds, well, even if you didn't have anything to do with it, you probably ended up getting caught up in shit like we all do. Now, when I first heard Kanan say this in real time, it was the first time I really felt like this man Kanan was thinking with his whole heart when it comes to Raq. Like, he's no longer using his noggin when it comes to his mother anymore. Everything bad that happened to him, he legit thinks his mother has something to do with it. He says that maybe Neek picked her up to fuck with Raq. Could have been Quan's people, because we already know Quan don't fuck with Raq. Raq don't really got that many friends. Pause on the current content, but y'all see how this sunlight hit me right now, though? Chill. The boy is glowing right now, but anyway. He goes on to say, you done effed over so many people in your time. I really don't even know who to pin this on right now. Raq, on the wrong end of the blame game right now, says, it must be nice to have me in your life. Some of you could pin everything bad that happened in your life on to where you don't have to take any accountability for anything that's ever happened to you. Kanan then ends this conversation with another mic drop bar, telling his mother, and I quote, ain't none nice about having you in my life. Now, first of all, to Mekhi Curtis and Bettina Miller, great acting. Respect to Haley Kilgore. You was kind of just there in this scene, shorty. I still love you though, Juke. We might have to get to that conversation we had with Auntie Raq later on in the season in another video. As we can see from this conversation, Kanan's mind is just warped. As I've said before, anything bad that has happened to this man, he is going to associate with his mother at this point. And the reason for that being what he brought up in this conversation. You love Famous the same way you love D-Wiz, but you had the nigga taken out like you did to Famous, even though we know she didn't do that to Famous. I was thinking she did that to Famous during the season 2. I'm not gonna lie. And for good reason, she took out D-Wiz. Based on how they ended season 3 with Famous talking to the feds, I felt like Raq and Marvin had clear incentive to take this man out. At the end of the day, they didn't. This is the part of the video where I'm going to go on to justify some of Raq's actions that she has taken throughout this series. Now, the D-Wiz killing. I understand why Kanan holds on to that deer. That was one of his best mans that Raq essentially had taken out. But when you really think about it, somebody, like she said, had to take the fall for what happened to dude that Kanan ended up killing. But she go let it be Kanan? No. So she had to make an executive decision, as we've seen her do time and time and time again. It's not always easy, but someone has to be the one to do it. And Raq has shown consistently that she will be the one to do it. You got to respect that in her character. A Howard kill. That's another big one. She did not have to do Howard like that, in my opinion, right in front of his son. But Howard definitely did not give a damn about that family. He only really seemingly cared about Raq and Kanan. Heavy on seemingly. If his life depended on it, he looked like he would turn on him for that snack wrap meal at Popeyes real quick. Especially seeing how he was ready to flip on Marvin, how he was up in the pole on Drunk Lou, and the fact that Kanan shot him in season 1, that nigga could have took that shit to heart. Better to get rid of him in the moment when they already got rid of Ronnie. It's messed up, but it was an action that needed to be taken. Howard could not be trusted. Raq once again has to make the executive decision that nobody wants to make. Even when it comes to family, Raq is going to choose her family every time. When Lou was out here crashing out on an episode-to-episode basis in season 3, put in the organization at jeopardy time and time again, it looked like her and Marvin were about to take him out, but they didn't. They brought him to a home instead to get the help that he needed. I could have seen Lou as a liability, but no, that's her brother, that's her blood. She's not going to take him out. And I appreciate the show for showing us this, because we've seen Raq be cutthroat in the past season. It shows that Raq has some kind of code, and that code is loyalty to her family. They are not expendable in her eyes. Ultimately, I feel like her decision not to kill Lou was the right one. I couldn't find no justification for her doing that. All that grace I gave Raq just now aside, that is not going to change how Kanan views her at all. Kanan right now is very upset at the world. Everything is crashing down around him. The one person he trusted the most, the one person he loved with his whole heart at the beginning of this series, had one of his best friends taken out within the first 3 episodes of this series, and waited to tell him this during an argument, where she then used it as ammunition against him. That decision that Raq made to have Lou kill D-Wiz and then tell Kanan in the fashion that she did is still sitting with him to this day. It has to be for him to have brought it up at the diner the way he did. We can give Raq all the justification in the world. We could say that she had D-Wiz killed to look out for Kanan, which at this point I'm believing is true. Raq's actions have shown that she is going to prioritize family at all costs. But that's just one action that Kanan will never be able to look past. Especially in a scenario where his friends are going missing. So as messed up as it is, I can't blame the brother for thinking that Raq, his own mother, would be the one to take out Famous and Crystal in this instance, based off of her track record here. And because of that, he will always have a right to at least question Raq on any of these situations going forward, which is why their relationship will never be able to be rekindled. Let me know what y'all thought about my analysis of this little table scene right here. How do you feel about Raq having D-Wiz killed? Do you think that was justified in any way? Do you feel like Kanan just needs to get over it at this point? Like Raq was just doing what she needed to do to protect her family and her son? I'll leave all y'all thoughts down below. Until next time, I'll be your host, Jay Suave. We've been entertained, and we gonna talk soon. Peace, y'all.